go hammer, hammering. Go hammer, hammering.
We're looking at New Orleans, what happened in New Orleans, and also branching outside of New Orleans, looking at the country as a whole.
Right there was a house, a loving house.
We started out trying to talk about the history of fear in America and how America is this, you know, at the time, such a superpower and what it's done in the world, not just in the country, but across the waters. And then Hurricane Katrina happened, and we decided to talk about America within itself. And maybe talking about America not so much as a superpower or as this bigger entity that we all feel exists in our own mythology, but as a small village that sometimes doesn't realize how small it actually is and can't necessarily take care of its own sometimes. Or sometimes it's so small that it's such a wonderful place because it's so small and because we're all interconnected in one way or another.
We're looking at issues that have taken place throughout America since its birth, whether it's racism, poverty, classism, those kinds of things have always existed here.
We've been asking people what are their views about the world today. And so the stories aren't all New Orleans stories. Anybody who comes in expecting to hear the New Orleans play, that's not it. This is not it. And we're trying to show how it doesn't matter where in the world you're from or where you may be standing right now. In countless other places, people are thinking and going through the same exact thing as you.
Even though we do talk about these things, people come in with that perception of, whoa, this is going to be about New Orleans. I know exactly what I'm going to see. And then when you start you put this mirror and you say, look at New Orleans, look at New Orleans, look at New Orleans. And all of a sudden you say, oh, look at yourself. And you just put it back on people. And then they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to see myself. I don't know. Let's talk about New Orleans. You're like, no, let's talk about you. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about this, you know. So it's about flipping this mirror back and forth on our nation. And people who are in the audience are just saying, let's take a better look. Hold on. It wasn't really all about that hurricane, was it, after all? I think people just need to be open to a big dialogue about what America is, what it's become, and what it can be.
And the show is fun, too. The show's fun. I think also it kind of reminds me of an old school variety show. What we're saying is this is our country, but this is the hope for our country. This is who we can be, you know, if we just all get in the same boat together and row. Which is kind of how we end the show. So it's like we're all in the same boat together. So let's just all participate and take responsibility, you know, to make it better.